Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Tell you what, Mother Nature's been in a mighty good mood for about the last 8-10 days in Cincinnati. And a beautiful night for baseball. Welcome to Great American Ballpark. Game 2 of 3. The Rockies in town to take on the Cincinnati Reds. Hi again, everybody. Alongside the Cowboy, Jeff Bradley and Jim Day, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds baseball. Really excited for a second-time Cowboy to see the former #1 pick of the Reds brought back up today to start tonight's game in Robert Stevenson. What did you think of his Major League debut?
I thought, Tom, when you look at what he did, I thought he handled the situation well. I thought that he probably held back a little bit just to make sure that he was throwing strikes and didn't get things out of hand. But when you watch Robert Stevenson as the season goes on, you're going to begin to see a fastball that starts to approach the mid to upper 90s. I thought he held back a little bit to make sure he didn't get out of whack. I thought he handled the game well, especially with that big 8-run inning. But I think tonight is going to be a little bit different.
All right, now talk about what we might see besides a fastball tonight that we did not see the first start.
Well, the first time around, we saw a lot of fastballs and changeups. I thought he tried to just manage the ball game. His curveball is outstanding. That is his whip pitch. That's his strikeout go-to pitch. Also, an elevated fastball. And against this Colorado Rockies ball club, he's going to have to compete. There are going to be some names on the back of the jerseys that he did not see the first time around.
Now, he's facing a fellow that's been around the block a time or two, and that's Jorge De La Rosa.
Yeah, De La Rosa has a tremendous career in Coors Field. But when he gets on the road, things start to get a little shaky. And he's gotten off to a rough start, and the Reds hope it'll stay that way.
Reds need a win. They took a tough one on the chin here last night, trying to get back to the 500 mark here tonight. And back in the lineup and ready to roll is Eugenio Suarez. Jim Day has that story and much, much more. JD standing by on Fox Sports Ohio.
Ohio is brought to you by Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time.
It's going to be another warm night at Great American Ballpark as temperatures start off close to 80 by the first pitch. We'll be falling through the 70s most of the game. Stray showers possible, but hopefully they miss the stadium completely. It's just a slight chance. Temperatures will be in those upper 60s by the final out. Let's go Reds.
Temperature awesome right now. I'm Jim Day on the field. Yesterday, Eugenio Suarez got his first off day on this season. That usually rejuvenates a player, and the Reds can certainly use his bat in the lineup, particularly what he's done at home. Small sample size, but during that first homestand, just a .435 clip, 4 long balls, 9 runs driven in, .957 slugging percentage, and you compare that to his on the road average of just .208 and 1 RBI. So far, it's been the friendly confines, if you will, of GABP. He's the subject of our IGS Bringing the Energy. Both third basemen tonight can bring it. Nolan Arenado might be the best defensive shortstop, or excuse me, third baseman in all of baseball, but both can swing it. Arenado and Suarez first and fourth in average. Arenado has 6 home runs on the season. He's also first in RBI and runs, but no slouch is Eugenio Suarez. So that hot corner tonight, well, both swinging a hot bat. Eugenio and the Reds looking to even up this 3-game set at a game apiece. Robert Stevenson, round number 2. Tom Brenneman and the Cowboy are next on Fox Sports Ohio.
Robert Stevenson taking the mound for the second time in his major league career. Tonight's Elk and Elk storyline highlights what Stevenson can build on off his first start, according to his pitching coach.
He was really comfortable the first time that he pitched here, so he's probably going to be more comfortable this time too. And he had a really good game his last game. His curveball was really working well, so we're expecting a good game out of him today. And plus his innings are up now. His pitch counts are going to be up, so his innings are going to be up. So hopefully he can give us 7 innings tonight.
Stevenson just turned 23 years young, a native of Martinez, California, the first-round pick, 27th overall back in June 2011.
Yeah, I think when you look at Robert Stevenson, that first ball game, as you can with most guys, you can kind of throw it out the window. Even though I thought he handled it very well, There were a couple of plays behind him that probably should have been made. He did give up a couple of home runs, but he didn't have the strikeout numbers. And that's the part that I think everyone is looking forward to. Attacking the strike zone, being aggressive, not holding back. You're a big leaguer. That first start's over. It's time to show everybody the world what you've got. And we're hoping that's what we see from Robert Stevenson tonight.
Let's take a look at Walt Weiss's starting lineup for the Colorado Rockies. Playing well. They're 8 up, 5 down. LeMahieu back in the lineup. Story the hero last night. Gonzalez in right. Arenado at third. Parra in center. Reynolds at first. Paulson moves from first to left. Walters catching the left-hander Jorge De La Rosa. Mentioned last night, only the St. Louis Cardinals going back to 2011 have been better in the month of April than the Colorado Rockies. They have won 3 of their first 4 series of this season against 3 good teams. First pitch swinging. DJ LeMahieu, you'll take that all day, every day. 1 pitch, 1 out. We're underway at the old ballpark. Let's look at the Reds on defense, presented by Ford. Tyler Holt, a rare start in the early part of this year. Left, Hamilton in center, Bruce in right. Regular cast of characters, as Jim Day just told you, with Suarez back at third in the infield. Devin Mesoraco hanging the signs for Stevenson. You go back to that start on April the 7th for Stevenson, his major league debut against Philadelphia. He had Tucker Barnhart behind the plate on that day.
Well, we've already seen something from Stevenson that we did not see in game 1, and that's a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
And there's another one. Such a golden opportunity for this young man yet again. Pitch a 3rd game of the year, what with all the injuries to some of the young starters the Reds thought would be a part of this rotation when the season began. And now he's getting another shot, and who knows, he pitches well here tonight. He might be hanging around for a little while. We know DeSclafani is coming back, but there is still some, juggling perhaps to be done in that rotation. Dan Straley got the nod last night.
Tom, I already see a different mentality straight out of the gate from Robert Stevenson than what we saw in game 1. Seems to be more on the attack. You can see his facial expressions more in tune with the game. Confidence, if you will.
Story has been one of the big stories in all of Major League Baseball. Clubbed his major league leading 8th home run of the season last night. And as we mentioned, there are so many categories you could go up and down and say he's the first major league player ever to, and then fill in the blank. Hit 4 home runs in his first 4 career games. First player to ever hit home runs as his first 4 career hits. The only player in major league history to record 6 home runs in his team's first 4 games of the year. It's been incredible what he's done. And he broke a 1-1 tie here last night with a long home run out near the power stacks in right center field.
I'm ready for that hook right here. We didn't see a whole lot of them in game 1. There it is.
There it is indeed, and that's a put-away pitch. You said it before the game got started, Cowboy. We expect to see a few more of those breaking balls than we saw in his major league debut.
You pump that fastball in there at 94 to 96. The hitter has to start a bit early and watch this ball go down. I like it.
2 up, 2 down, and now Carlos Gonzalez. 20 hits already for Gonzalez in his first 53 at bats. 4 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Off to a great start, coming off a 40 homer season, nearly 100 runs batted in a year ago, as he was finally healthy for the first time in 2.5 years.
I know it's early going, but those 20 hits, that's the most in the big leagues already.
Stevenson, for the third straight year, is rated by Baseball America as the #1 prospect in the Reds organization. Fastball at 94, drop foul and out of play. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gonzalez.
Not only does Stevenson have that velocity, Tom, but he's got a little bit of late life right at the end of the pitch as it gets to the plate. The later that the ball moves towards the batter, the more difficult it is to center it up.
Now, you mentioned before the game got started, but some folks weren't quite with us yet before the first pitch. Fastball, curveball, changeup from Stevenson.
Yes.
Changeup, a very highly thought up pitch. That went low and away.
And I thought he threw some great changeups in the start against Philadelphia. He just didn't go to the curveball that often, and it's his first start. And that's why I say you can throw that out.
Fastball at 95 on a 3-2 count. Good location away and got him to serve the ball at Holt. Good start for Robert Stevenson. A perfect opening inning. Reds 6 up, 7 down. The starting lineup tonight reads as follows. Cozart at short, Suarez in the lineup at third, Votto at first. Brandon Phillips hitting cleanup, Devin Mesoraco in the 5 spot, Jay Bruce in right. Holden left, Stevenson bats 8th, Billy Hamilton bats 9th. De La Rosa's been around professionally going all the way back to 1998 when he signed out of Mexico with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
One of the top pitchers at home, pitching at Coors Field, believe it or not, in all of baseball. But yet, on the road, one of the worst.
How do you explain that?
I think it has a lot to do with the offense and really the team being able to score you some runs when you're out there. You're kind of at that mercy. But he's pitched very well at Coors Field. But he is one of those guys that pitches right on the edge of the plate. It doesn't matter if the bases are loaded and no outs. He is not going to give in. You have to have patience.
Well, the Reds did not have a lot of patience offensively last night. In fact, a number of people around here talking about that very topic. How many first pitches the Reds were up there swinging at last night against Lyles, who had a hard time throwing strikes early on this year. And there's strike 1 to Cozart. Zach off to a very nice start. Has hit safely in each of his first 9 games. The longest hitting streak by a Reds batter to begin a season since Mesoraco 2 years ago. Nothing in 2. No Reds batter has begun a season with a hitting streak longer than 11 games since the Hall of Famer, the great Barry Larkin, during that outstanding '95 season when he was the NL MVP, had a 12-gamer to start it. You were right there front and center, Cowboy.
I was. Larkin always had that unique ability, even when he was beat on a fastball or had to guess with a breaking ball, to shoot the ball down the right field line. Always kept his hands in the perfect spot and was able to extend and make pitchers just cringe when he would do that.
Swinging a foul tip. Actually missed it, and it's in the dirt. The catcher throws out Kozar to strikeout to begin the game. Colorado on defense, presented by Ford. Hara moves over to center. Paulson started at first, goes to left tonight. Mark Reynolds in the lineup, and their regular second baseman DJ LeMahieu back in the lineup after an off day yesterday.
Interesting to see Paulson at first base on one day and left the next.
Now Suarez, 15 of 47, 4 home runs, 10 batted in. It's cooled off a little bit after that great start, and hoping that he can get it back revved up tonight.
Yeah, I think things got cooled off in all of that cool air in Chicago, and hopefully now that he's back home, he can get that bat warmed back up the way it was when he left here.
Adrian Johnson calls the balls and strikes. The crew chief, Gary Cederstrom, is at first base. Eric Cooper at second. Jim Wolf, the umpire, at third. Slow breaking ball and a dandy.
Well, when you watch De La Rosa, he'll bring his knee up, pause for a moment, bring it up just a bit higher. Sometimes that will mess with your timing as a batter. Watch him bring the front knee up, then he raises it again. Now he comes to the plate.
Three and two.
And this at bat with Suarez is De La Rosa to a T. Get ahead with a fastball, something down low, and then try to tease you to chase something off the plate or in the dirt with that changeup or curveball.
Pulled the string on him. Back-to-back strikeouts for the Colorado left-hander. And here comes Joey Votto.
You can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that if it's a fastball count, you're going to get anything but. If it's a 3-2 count, you're going to get a changeup or a curveball. He is not going to let you sit on a fastball that he can only throw 87, 88 miles an hour.
Votto 10 hits in his first 47 at bats, a home run, 7 driven in, has a double, and looks at a fastball, strike one. But for Votto, the work never stops. I mean, he just keeps going and going and going before the game, working on that pitch down and away from him.
And the pitch that's down and away is the pitch that you have to let travel the most. You've got to let it get deep in there, and if you've got a pitcher pitching you inside, it's tough to wait that long. But we know that Votto's strength is from the left center field gap to the left field line, and he can drive the ball out of left field at any time. But I think sometimes Votto will tell you he'll hit a line drive to the right fielder and he'll say, well, that was a mistake on my part. I got out in front.
2 balls and a strike, 2 down, nobody on, just underway on a beautiful night in downtown Cincinnati. And there's Steve right 2 on the outside corner, another fastball. Hamilton taking a long look out there and watching what De La Rosa is featuring tonight. Hamilton will bat 9th in the order. De La Rosa fans the side. Reds gone in order. No score at the end of one. Let's Motor Player Profile is brought to you by BMW Mini. Robert Stevenson, an outstanding student in high school, better than a 4.0 GPA at Alhambra. A couple of no-hitters to begin his senior year. That was the year the Reds signed him at the end of that season as their #1 pick in 2011. Alhambra is a public high school in Alhambra, California.
Speaking of high school, I was talking to a couple of guys that are scouting the Reds in the Rockies. Triple digits in high school for Stevenson on a regular basis. 100 miles an hour, folks.
On the ground off the bat of Arenado, and a good throw by Suarez for the first out of the inning.
Looked like a curveball there that Arenado hit. And if you're Robert Stevenson, more times than not, when you've thrown that pitch with that kind of bite, you're coming up AA and AAA, they miss that pitch. They don't hit it like that. But that's an out, and that's what you have to be satisfied with.
You know, looking through some of the prominent alumni from Alhambra High School, how about a couple of these names? What about Ralph Kiner, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer?
He was pretty good.
Not bad. Tex Schramm, former general manager, the man who built so many great teams in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. Just to name a couple. Oh, there's one more. And I think she would be prettier than those two, and Robert for that matter. Very talented and beautiful model Cheryl Teagues. Remember her?
Yeah.
Alhambra High School. 2-0 on Parra, and it's ball 3. Three balls and a strike on Parra. First 4 retired by Stevenson to begin the night. and make it the first 5 on this pop-up in a short left. Cozart waving off Holt. Came back from 3-1 down in that count.
See, that's a great job of pitching there, and just a little bit of experience from game 1. Fell behind 3-0. Did not try to overthrow the 3-0 or the 3-1 pitch. Got it in there. First time Parra seen him. It's always about that element of surprise. First time through, major advantage for a pitcher if you're throwing strikes.
Now Mark Reynolds with 2 down and none on. Stevenson did not have a 1-2-3 inning in his first major league start. And in fairness to Stevenson, his numbers in that first start would have looked a lot better had it not been for his final inning. He retired the first 2 batters in the 5th, and then he walked Maikel Franco before giving up a 2-run home run to Ryan Howard. He then hit a batter, got the final out in the 5th, and his day was over. So, you know, conceivably could have gone 5 and given up 2, 1 earned. Instead, it's 5 giving up 4, 3 earned. Ball driven hard into right center field. That'll find the gap. And coming to second, Stevenson standing up with a 2-out double. The first base runner for either team in the game tonight.
Fastball that started down, and you can see it creep right back over the heart of the plate. And for a hitter like Mark Reynolds, he likes those fastballs. If that ball stays on the outside corner, you got a chance for a pop-up. Doesn't quite get to it.
That'll be a balk. He caught a spike driving towards the plate. Thankfully, the runner's not at third. He'll advance to third. I'm surprised, Cowboy, to be honest with you, that does not happen more often.
I think it does happen. I know that it happened to me. I think it looked like his back foot slipped off the back of the rubber, and I mean, he did the right thing. You just don't want to lay a cookie up there.
That was another fastball at 95 miles per hour for Stevenson.
See a lot of pitchers all the time doctoring with the mound, digging in a foot spot so they can get a toe hold to push and drive to the plate, and also their landing spot, especially when you've got another pitcher from the opposing team that lands similar to where you are on the front foot.
That'll fall in a base hit. Sounded like a broken bat into right center field off the bat of Paulson. But 2-out noise, a double by Reynolds, a single by Paulson, 1-0 Colorado.
Looked like he got it on the hands, but that's very similar to the pitch that Mark Reynolds hit. Started away from arm side, and yet the ball is traveling back over, catching too much of the plate.
All right, an out away from putting this inning to bed. Rockies on the board, and here's the number 8 hitter, the catcher, Tony Walters. Went 0 for 4 in the series opener last night. He continues to get regular playing time right now because Nick Hundley, their regular catcher, is on the 7-day concussion list. They have another youngster we've not seen in the series yet backing up now Walters, and that is Dustin Garneau. Breaking ball stayed high. 3 balls and a strike on Walters.
Just didn't quite finish that one, trying to throw it for a strike. And a lot of times mentally you say, I'm going to throw this pitch for a strike. You don't want to let up, but you actually do, and the ball just spins out of your hand.
Ball 4. Double single walk after the first 2 were retired in the inning. So the pitcher will bat De La Rosa, and you better be careful here.
You can swing it a little bit.
This guy has 3 hits already this season and 6 at bats, including 2 RBIs.
It's a good move there by Cozart. Come in, try to help the kids slow the game down a little bit. Sometimes when you give up a couple of hits, a run scores, you start to feel that pressure creeping in your mind. You just have to slow the game down and make a pitch, one at a time.
Well, now Mark Riggins will slowly come out to the mound. 30-second clock will start out in left center field, and now he'll pick up the pace a little bit.
You get that adrenaline going a little bit when you start to sense urgency. That front shoulder starts to creep out a little bit on you, and your hand gets flat away from your head, and the ball starts to sail up and away arm side. And that's what we're seeing with Stevenson right here. You've just got to settle yourself back down, get back over the top, throw over the front shoulder instead of around it.
All right, 1-0 on the pitcher. Runners at first and second, 1 run in, 2 outs, and he comes back with a fastball, and that's a strike to even things at 1-1. Tapper by the mound. It's a pitcher running. Cozart has time and gets him by a step 2 in the inning. Rockies get a run, 2 hits, a strand to pair. 1-0 Rockies after an inning and a half. Only tonight, Fox Sports Ohio has a great ticket offer on Reds tickets for this weekend series against the Cubbies. Now, for $25, you can get a ticket for the Terrace line for any of the 4 games starting on Thursday. Go to reds.com/FSOhio. Use the code FSOhio and get your tickets for that price. The offer will expire at the end of Reds Live, the post-game show tonight. How you gonna beat that? I mean, you think about all the other activities we have going on, whether it's a bobblehead on Saturday, the fireworks on Friday, family days always on Sundays. So a lot happened. De La Rosa fanned the side in the opening inning. A lot of families out of the ballpark tonight enjoying this incredible weather. In there, strike to Phillips. De La Rosa got Cozart, Suarez, Votto all swinging in the bottom of the first inning. Brandon 11 of 41, a home run, 6 runs batted in. And this one hooked into left field. It'll fall in a base hit. Phillips will slam on the brakes after a fast turn.
Split-fingered fastball, and this one just kind of stays over the plate a little bit. Got it down. Brandon able to stay right with it. You don't really have to cheat with De La Rosa. He's not going to throw the ball by you.
Here's a guy the Reds would love to get going, and that is Mesoraco. He has 1 extra base hit, 1 run batted in, 4 hits and 28 at bats on the season. This becomes a very different looking lineup if Mesoraco starts swinging the bat like he did in 14. And they start the runner, and he finds a hole. Phillips will easily go first to third, and here come the Redlegs down a run.
I think Brandon had that base stolen either way. De La Rosa did not even look to first base. Great jump by Phillips. And Mesoraco hit it in a perfect spot, even with the shift.
So now a golden chance to do some big time damage. Runners on the corners, nobody out, and Jay Bruce, the team leader with 12 runs batted in, comes to the plate.
Jay is 1 for 10 lifetime against the left-hander De La Rosa. And he's made some adjustments to his swing this year. Let's see if they'll pay off.
Good hitters count right here. Bruce looking for 1 pitch in 1 zone and looking to hammer it. Little tardy on the fastball. Came back with a 2-1 breaking ball, and Bruce chops it foul around the home plate area. So De La Rosa's come back from down 2-0 to even it up.
He may try to bounce this curveball to the plate.
Jay off to a real nice start with runners on base so far this year. 19 at bats. He has 8 base hits with 10 runs batted in. Pull to the right side. They'll get 1, and did they get 1? Never getting to the bag anyway was Mesoraco. An RBI for Jay Bruce. He's aboard at first on the fielder's choice, so we're tied at 1.
Good throw, but Story took the throw glove only without the hand and the glove together, and a lot of times that creates the bobble effect, and that's what happened there. You're turning a double play. You want to catch the ball glove and hand together. Throwing hand and glove together.
Tyler Holt, 7 at bats so far this season, has 1 hit. That was a double. Bruce takes off, and again the Reds are just going to run whenever they get a runner on base. But as you pointed out a moment ago, I'm not sure De La Rosa even looked at first for a second time in this inning.
Well, not only is he not looking at first base, he's taking such a long time to deliver the ball to the plate. I mean, his knee kick might as well be with a windup.
Tonight is Tyler Holt's first start of this 2016 season. Saturday in St. Louis, he had a pinch hit double. That was his first hit of the year. And that pitch hits him. A breaking ball that got him 2-1. Still only 1 out. But the pitcher Stevenson now comes to the plate.
That was a split-fingered fastball that De La Rosa just held on to forever. He was trying to turn it over, and he never got the turn.
Stevenson as a batter in his major league debut struck out and put down a sacrifice.
You got Mark Reynolds at first. He will charge quickly and try to get the out at third.
Now we have seen from Brian Price from time to time this year, well, he'll roll the dice a little bit, especially with 1 out in an inning, putting that Butcher Boy play on. Ball 1.
This is what you get from De La Rosa if you can apply a little bit of base runner pressure. He starts to really hold on to the ball, really trying to make that pitch right on the edge of the plate, and you can put him in some awfully good hitters counts.
You know, let's face it, you could understand if Brian Price wanted to flirt with the idea of a Butcher Boy play here, especially with 1 out. With nobody out, you never do it. There go the runners, and they both go in standing up. You really don't even need to sacrifice here, is what I was going to finish the sentence, because De La Rosa is not holding anybody on base.
And it's a combination of factors. Not only is he not holding anybody on, that huge leg kick takes forever to get the ball to Tony Wolters. You're giving your catcher no chance to throw out a base runner.
Well, now Stevenson with a chance to knock in his first major league run. Infield draws in for Colorado. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. 1-2. Stevenson never leaving that batter's box. Slightly open stance. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Reynolds all drawn in. He started 2 and was able to check his swing on the breaking ball to even the count.
Well, this is one of those spots for a young hitter or young pitcher. You're thinking, oh man, if I can just get the bat on it, if I can just hit it up the middle, got a chance for an RBI. Then I get to keep the ball.
2-2 pitch. Swung and missed for the 2nd out of the inning. 4 strikeout for De La Rosa. So now the Reds are leaning on Billy Hamilton to deliver with 2 outs in the inning in this 1-1 game. Sure, Reynolds had something to say in that conference along with the catcher Walters with De La Rosa, where the word bunt had to have been mentioned. Breaking ball in there, a strike. Hamilton 5 hits in his first 30 at bats, a home run, 3 doubles, 2 knocked in. Very good career numbers for Billy against the Rockies. And there's a bouncer that'll bring in a pair. And Hamilton will go into second base with a 2-run double and a 2-run Cincinnati lead.
Big time hit at a great time for the Reds. Breaking ball down and in, and Hamilton beats it right in front of home plate. And you could have had a giraffe playing at third. He couldn't have caught that ball.
We got to believe Hamilton's on his way to third. De La Rosa thinking the same thing on the first pitch. Turns around just to send him back to the bag. Hamilton drives in a pair. It's a 3-run bottom of the second inning, and Hamilton can walk down to third. It could be a very long night for the catcher Tony Walters if the Reds put runners on base every inning. 4th stolen base in this inning.
And De La Rosa has changed nothing. He hasn't shortened up his leg kick. It's almost as if to say, all right, just go ahead, and the Reds are. The problem with allowing Hamilton to steal third there, Tom, is you almost take away the breaking ball from De La Rosa. With Hamilton at third, if you bounce the breaking ball at the plate, Cozart doesn't even have to get a hit. He's coming home. And we've seen quite a few bounce already.
And there is that breaking ball in the dirt, smothered beautifully by the catcher Walters.
That's an awfully good job by Tony Walters.
Two balls and a strike on Zach. And now the count even up after the foul ball to the screen.
He's come in now 3 times on Cozart. About that time for that little split finger that runs away from him. Just try to speed up the bat head of the batter, slow him down with that split finger away.
In the dirt again, and man, what a play by Walters. That's 2 of them during this at bat to Cozart.
Ball, that looked like he caught it off the collarbone. He had to raise that left shoulder quickly to make sure that he kept it in front. Kid's earning his pay.
Catchers earn their pay every night.
Yeah, brother.
Every night. All right, 3-2 now on Cozart. And a bouncer foul of the third baseline. We'll do it once more. The Reds in 9 innings last night had 1 run, only 4 base hits. They've scored 3 runs and 3 hits in this 2nd inning tonight.
Yeah, the first 7 innings combined in last night's game, there were only 7 hits for both teams put together.
Two for a 3rd time. There'll be a 4th.
And you also have to be alive here if you're Billy Hamilton. Even if he throws a breaking ball and he walks Zach Cozart, if that ball bounces into the dirt, Hamilton is looking for an opportunity to score. That's where you have a tendency to relax as a catcher, not thinking about the runner at 3rd base.
Four consecutive foul balls on 3-2 pitches from Cozart. Pretty good battle right here. This will be the 10th pitch of this at bat coming up. That ball stung into left field. What an at-bat by Cozart, who now has a hit in every game which he has played this season. A 10-game hit streak for Cozart to start this year.
What a battle by Zach Cozart. Finally gets a fastball, squares it right into left field.
Well, your old teammate and your buddy Steve Foster, former Red, is the pitching coach for the Colorado Rockies, and he's out for a quick visit.
One of the most positive guys I've ever been around. And I guess if you're going to be a pitching coach in Colorado, you better be positive.
You better be. Or else you'd be looking for a noose and a 3-legged stool on sale. Because that's a hard place to be a pitching coach and a pitcher.
That's right.
And it continues now. The 8th batter in this inning is Suarez. He struck out his first time up and fouls away the first pitch here, strike 1. Reds have 4 stolen bases in this inning against De La Rosa. Bruce stole 2nd, stole 3rd. Stole 3rd on the front end of a double steal with Holt. And then Hamilton stole 3rd just a moment ago after the 2-run double. Cozart has not attempted a stolen base so far this year.
Well, now they're calling throwovers from the dugout. Tired of the track meet that the Reds are putting together here in the 2nd.
Into right field by Suarez. That'll send Cozart on to 3rd. Nice piece of hitting by the young Reds' 3rd baseman. And Votto will bat, the 9th batter of the inning coming up.
Very curious that teams would play Suarez to pull on the infield with his ability to shoot the ball the other way. And he shows it right there. And that was an off-speed pitch that normally you would roll over on as a right-handed batter, and he shoots it right through the hole.
Votto struck out ending the first inning. Remember, De La Rosa fanned the side in the opening frame. But now the Reds have scored 4 times. Runners are on the corners with 2 outs. And it's strike 1 to Votto. 5 hits in this inning, along with a hit batter. Rusin, the left-hander, getting loose in the Colorado bullpen. They didn't have to use much of that last night. They got 2 innings. 2/3 from Qualls, an inning and a third from Boone Logan in relief of Lyles. Runner takes off. 5th steal in this inning. Suarez his 3rd in as many attempts. Two balls and a strike to Joey. That one left out over the middle of the plate. He looked to be a little out in front. 2-2. .35 pitches thrown in this half inning by De La Rosa. 50 in the game. Cozart at 3rd, Suarez at 2nd, 2 outs, 2-2 on Joey Votto.
You start throwing this many pitches in 1 inning, that ball feels like it weighs about 5 pounds.
See a little bit of frustration the last 2 pitches with Votto. 2 pitches he feels like he could have done something positive with, both resulting in foul balls, but still very much in the at bat at 2-2.
And I think the great hitters show frustration when they foul off a pitch they think they should have hit. That's the competitive aspect to this game. I'd rather him be frustrated about it than just, oh, well, I fouled it off. I think there's a very high level of expectation that Joey has in himself.
Struck him out to end the inning. 9 back, 4 score. And at the end of 2, the Reds own a 4-1 lead.
To honor the hometown heroes each and every game, and those men and women were honored before the game. I'm Jim Day. A special pregame ceremonies. I tell you what, it brings you chills when you can see the men and women standing at attention on the field presenting the colors. This is the 123rd Air Control Squadron out of the Blue Ash Air National Guard Station, and they are preparing to be deployed overseas in support of the global war on terror. We salute them, we honor them here tonight, and we pray that they come home safely.
Amen to that, Jim Day. Amen to that. We thank them for their service. We thank all those that have served, that are serving, and those that will serve. Enjoying the ball game with their families here tonight. We're honored to have them. So Stevenson gave up a run in the top of the second inning. His team scores 4 in the last of the inning. So now a 3-run lead for this youngster. Top of the order for Colorado. He retired this group in order in the first. Got LeMahieu on the first pitch of the game on a pop up to the right side of the infield. Good fastball location there on the outside corner on a 2-1 pitch to even it up. Robert ran into 2-out trouble in that second inning. Retired the first 2 batters, Arenado and Parra. Here's a slow roller on a good pitch down and away from the right-handed batter. Good breaking ball there, and that's an easy play for Brandon.
Watch the action on this curveball. Straight down, right off the end of the bat, another inch, and LeMahieu misses that pitch. That's late break, straight down. That's a tough pitch to recognize.
So now Story, who struck out his first time up. You know, Story reminds you a little bit of Troy Tulowitzki. It's certainly understandable. Cowboy touched on it last night. 2 years in a row. Story obviously way down the depth chart when you have Tulowitzki playing shortstop inside an organization. Would work out together in Las Vegas. And, you know, that last big deep breath, holding the bat with both hands, and a big huge exhale just to clear your head, is something he picked up from Tulowitzki right here, right there.
I think when you watch him, he gets that little bit of lean back as he sets up, and then he'll get down into his legs as the pitch comes to the plate. And that's really where all the power comes from with this kid.
Tulowitzki, of course, traded at the trade deadline last year to Toronto. He was still owed $100 million on his contract. Straight up in the air. And Votto waits in the infield, soft grass, and that's a second out of the inning. Well, follow Reds Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment, any moment. Game day, live game video highlights, statcast news, and so much more. Download MLB.com at-bat tonight. Gonzalez flied out to the left fielder, hold his first time up. His last 2 pitches at 88 and 87. Trying to get Gonzalez off speed away from him. Threw a good pitch outside to him to get him out his first time up. That was a fastball. Comes back 2-0 fastball at 95 for a strike.
Now see, when you throw 2 changeups and then the fastball, it's tough to react if you're a hitter. I mean, you're creating a 10-mile-per-hour difference. You throw 2 fastballs that are balls and then come back with a third. That's the one they hit in the upper deck.
That ball is smoked by Gonzalez.
But he's out.
And he's out. Boy, was that ball hit.
Throw it in there and test him out.
John Morrell, the first 25,000 fans receive a Vaudomatic Super Bobblehead this Saturday. And you can see the Reds and the Cubs for as low as $12. Call 513-381-REDS or visit Reds.com right now to quote the Cowboy. Reds with a 4-1 lead, got 4 runs in that second inning off De La Rosa, sending 9 batters to the plate. And Brandon Phillips was the one who started it all. Hooked a single down the left field line, scored the first of 4. De La Rosa has fanned 5, allowed the 4 runs, 5 hits, and hit a batter. Saw where there Phillips asked for timeout, and remember, the umpire doesn't have to grant a hitter timeout. In this case, he was granted time by Adrian Johnson. Brandon looked out at De La Rosa like, say, well, we've been waiting a while. De La Rosa looks at him and says, well, here we go.
Slow and methodical, regardless of what's going on around him. That's Jorge De La Rosa. Reds are having a track meet, and he's still doing the same thing he was doing to start the game.
And obviously there's a method to the madness. I mean, you and I talked about it last night. He is the current version of Pedro Estacio, not in terms of stuff or style of pitching, but having the mental toughness, and it does take a different kind of mental toughness to pitch in half your games, whatever the number may be, over the course of a year at mile-high altitude, even with the humidor. To know there are games where you might go 6 innings, you might give up 5 or 6 runs, but you got to keep pitching. And in De La Rosa's case, you brought up his numbers pitching in Denver. I mean, they are just staggering, his winning percentage. In fact, you go back to 2008, so that's been a while. He leads all major league left-handers in home winning percentage, even better than Clayton Kershaw. Winning percentage. No other category would it be close. And again, Phillips hooks one into left field. This one will be for extra bases, and a double begins the Reds' third.
Phillips has caught a couple of those off-speed pitches up high. You can see the split finger come out early, and Brandon waits on it just long enough to hook it down the left field line.
Mesoraco singled through the middle his first time up. Looks like ball 1.
Looks like Russin is back up in their bullpen. Left-hander. Reds put too many more at bats on De La Rosa. May not be long for this night.
If you're just joining us, the Reds had 5 stolen bases in that 4-run second inning. Brandon would have had the first one. It would have been 6 had not Mesoraco singled back up through the middle into center field. He had second base stolen easily. 2-0. Used a slide step there. 3-0. A 4-pitch walk to Mesoraco, and that might be all tonight for De La Rosa. Here comes Walt Weiss, and that's probably going to do it. It is. This will be our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. De La Rosa last 2+ innings. Walks a batter, fans 5. And so far has been charged for 4 runs. So Jay Bruce coming up when we come back after the Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Out by the tall stacks in right center field. If a Red were to hit a home run off that sign, Roy Munch from Cold Spring, Kentucky would win back Tundra. Register for your chance to win. Stop by your Cincinnati and or Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Chris Russin, the left-hander, on from the Colorado bullpen, replacing De La Rosa.
Now Russin last year 22 starts in a Rockies uniform, but it was not pretty. He had a couple of complete games, but as far as overall numbers, they did not go well. It has not been real pretty out of the bullpen so far for this left-hander. We first saw him in a Chicago Cubs uniform years ago.
He grew up outside Detroit, Michigan and Dearborn, Michigan, played collegiately and graduated from the University of Kentucky. Chris Russin, originally a 4th-round pick by the Cubbies in 2009 out of UK. Strike 1 to Jay Bruce. He was picked up off waivers by Colorado in 2014. He has always been a starter. They will only get one. LeMahieu had a hard time getting that ball out of his glove, and this is a guy who's been picking up gold gloves, taking that spot occupied for a long time, of course, by Brandon.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to be a double play ball easily, and you're right, he just couldn't get it out of the glove. You watch Chris Russin throw as he comes to the plate right before delivery, right behind his hat. Got a little something going on with the hand. It's almost as though he wraps it, taking his fingers down towards his forearm before he releases the ball to the plate. That can be very difficult to be consistent over a period of time.
Well, if Holt makes contact with that bunt right there, he could crawl to first base, and it would have been a run batted in. Because, I mean, that's the last thing in the world the Colorado Rockies defense was looking for from Holt. This should be 2. Getting over. So Russin does a nice job getting a pair of ground balls, 1 a double play. End of 3. 4-1 Reds in front. on television, guess what? You can now stream Reds games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Look at that young lady. Let's see now. All right, come on. Dad's going to cut it loose.
All she wanted was the sticker. She just wanted to put the sticker on her shirt. Dad, you throw the ball.
Tell you what, it's pretty good from Dad right
Not
there.
bad.
They have so much cool stuff for kids and families to do together. Because let's be honest about it. I mean, when you're that little girl's age, you're going to have a hard time finding a young lady or even a little boy to sit around and watch a game for 8.5, 9 innings, right?
That's right.
So you got to have something else going on.
It's a great part of being able to walk around this ballpark and see all the different changes and the different things that are going on, the activities down the right field line. I mean, it's great when you're in a ball game, the kids start to get a little bit restless, and you can still see the ball game as you move around because of all the televisions and the spots that you can sit in the stands to view the field.
They have that. They have a real batting cage you can go to for the kids that are a little bit older, where they have, you know, softer baseballs, but I mean, they're close to baseballs. It's a real full-length batting cage, and then they have, I think, sponsored by Bob Evans, at a little wiffle ball stadium over there.
You can just launch.
That place is sweet.
The big kids want to go on that field.
Yes, they do. I'd have one of those in the backyard. Ground ball off the bat of Arenado, right at Cozart. Robert Stevenson, since a walk in the second inning, when 3 straight Rockies reached producing their lone run, has retired 5 in a row.
I like the aggressiveness.
Here we go. Now Jim Day is going to make his way over to that wiffle ball field. There it is, right around the corner. Bob Evans right there. There it is, Jimbo. And look at this. Got a fence. Jim Day's going to join us from over there in a minute. Some of the youngsters out there letting her rip. Parra popped up to Cozart his first time up, and then hooked to the right side. Brandon down on one knee to make sure. 2 down. All right, now these were the 2 batters he retired to begin the second inning. First 2 hitters, Arenado and Parra. The guy coming up now, Reynolds, doubled to right center. Paulson knocked him in with a single, then a walk. Got the final out of the inning. Let's see if now Robert can finish off Reynolds.
Great changeup there to Gerardo Parra. For a guy that likes to shoot the ball the other way, and he still had him out in front.
Overthrew that one a bit. 2 balls and no strikes. You know, one of the interesting things moving forward in baseball, you know, here you see Stevenson, and you mentioned when we saw him in spring training and what was a very important start for him. When near the end of spring training, DeSclafani was hurt. The Reds had to bring somebody from the minor league camp up. That was 96 on the fastball there. And I mean, Stevenson looked like he was getting paid by the pitch. He was in such a hurry. It should be noted as we move forward in baseball, and I don't think we're too far away from seeing a pitch clock in baseball. In fact, I'd bet money on it. How soon, I don't know. We already have one at the minor league level, but that's ultimately what I was getting at. Is it all these pitchers are going to come to the major leagues in the next number of years in the foreseeable future with a clock in their head.
They work
how
quicker.
Quickly they need to work on the mound.
Well, it's now comfortable for them to work quickly. The guys that are veterans that have been around a while, they didn't have that coming up. But you notice the adjustment with Stevenson after missing down and away with 2 fastballs. He knows what Reynolds hit his first time up, a fastball out over the plate into the gap. The last 3 pitches, he is burning up his hands. A little hook right here.
Stevenson, a big deep breath, though. Case assigned with Mesoraco. Comes back with a hook. You called it, and that's all she wrote. Well, that's a very impressive 4th inning. And this has been a mighty impressive 4 innings of work from Robert Stevenson. Look at this 2-strike pitch.
Jim Day, we showed you the kids playing field here in the Kroger fan zone. Another thing they've added this year at Great American Ballpark are carnival games. So you guys were talking earlier about keeping those kids occupied for 9 innings. Well, now they got a stand here of the games that you see at carnivals and just the classic games of Mr. Red bottle breakup game, and these fans right here getting ready to play the ring game for some carnival prizes. So gentlemen, there's so much to do here at GABP, and even if you have a youngster trying to keep them occupied, the Reds just keep adding to the mix.
They really do. They've just done an amazing job year after year after year on this ballpark. I think so many of us forget what this ballpark, it was nice when it was built, but I mean, it is nowhere near what it is now. And every year there is at least one, if not 2 or more projects that the Reds pour the money back into this ballpark, their own money, not taxpayer money, their own money, to make this a better experience for those that pay their hard-earned money to come watch this product. Is this his first hit? It's not. That's a Gold Glove winner down there at third.
Yeah, I get comments all the time. Folks come to the ballpark. They're here to watch the game, obviously, but everybody wants to take a tour of the ballpark, see what it's about, you know, check out the different levels, the different events, you know, and scenery. Everybody says, man, I didn't realize there was that much to do at a baseball park.
Yep.
I said, well, they're not all like this. I said, it's just the way the Reds do it. It's an event. It's a happening.
Billy Hamilton, a huge 2-out, 2-run double chopped over the head of Arenado in that 4-run second inning. We got a long way to go tonight. It's only the 4th inning. Reds have a 4-1 lead. Russin on in relief of starter De La Rosa.
And this Rockies club is not a club you want to rest on your laurels. You've got to continue to grind out at bats, continue to try to put runs on the board. You know, in their ballpark at Coors Field, the mantra is no lead is safe. And I think that's the way you have to go about it, even in your ballpark. You've got some sluggers in the top of that order. Just keep pushing them down.
Tell you what, though, baseball will never see again the way it was when baseball started originally in Denver. That altitude, and, well, even going back before that, you know, whole cast of characters was assembled when they started playing at Mile High Stadium, which of course is no longer the home of the Denver Broncos.
I played there.
Boy,
football stadium.
It's unbelievable.
There were guys going out to Colorado in the beginning, and you just get a nosebleed out of nowhere.
Hard hit ball to the right side, but right at LeMahieu, 2 out. I remember their very first year in '93. I was announcing for the Cubs at the time. July 4th weekend in Denver, the Chicago Cubs and the Colorado Rockies drew over 280,000 fans for a 4-game series. Imagine that. Over 70,000 for each of the 4 games. It was unbelievable. And then you're right, shortly thereafter in the late 90s, the Blake Street Bombers into the 2000s, and boy, every time they hit a home run, they'd play that old Peter Gabriel song, Sledgehammer, as they were running around the bases.
Well, the place was so slammed at the time. Everybody came to see that vaunted offense. Vinny Castilla, Andres Galarraga, Dante Bichette, and they didn't disappoint.
No, Larry Walker.
Oh man.
Ellis Burks. They had it going on now.
It was crazy.
Russell will work through a perfect 4th inning. Jim Day has decided to take the rest of the night off. Boy, now there's a good look for Jimbo. Oh my goodness. Save that one. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by your local Ford dealer, Ford Go Further, and by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the country on the U.S. News Best Children's Hospitals in America. And as always, a special hello to those watching tonight from Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We open pray today's been a great day for you, and even better tomorrow. It's been a real nice day for Robert Stevenson. Though the Rockies open the 5th inning, it's a loud noise off the bat of Paulson. This might be 3. Boy, he pulled the chute very early there. Must not have picked up the third base coach, because Bruce had that ball die on him right at the base of the wall, and then he went to pick it up and dropped it.
Well, I think when Paulson saw the ball, saw Bruce get to the baseball, he realized there was no chance to go to third, and that's when he stopped.
He did not bobble it. I beg your pardon. Paulson 2 for 2. He has 2 of the 3 hits for Colorado tonight against Stevenson. So now you have Walters, and they're going to apparently let the pitcher bat. So this is a very important batter in this inning. There's no action in the Rockies bullpen. When you're the Colorado Rockies, and Jim Leland used to talk about it, Clint Hurdle would talk about it, our good friend Jim Tracy would talk about it. You manage so differently than you do for any other team in Major League Baseball. And I don't mean just at home. The Rockies know they're going home after the game tomorrow. And so you can't be bringing guys in from the bullpen for 2 quick innings of work and then jerking them out of there for a pinch hitter in the 5th inning in a 3-run game. Because when they go home, they will play without another off day, if you can believe this, until May the 12th. Dodgers for 3, Pirates for 4, Arizona for 3, San Diego 3, Giants 4, Arizona 3, then an off day. In the air right field, this should advance a runner on to third. Bruce will cut it loose and cut off.
Let's take a look at Robert Stevenson so far today. He's got that hard riding fastball. We've seen it up in the 96 area, and then that yellow hammer right there. Talk about a breaking ball. That's not what we saw in game 1, but we have seen it here today. And that breaking ball there, not one of his best ones, but it was set up by 3 95-mile-an-hour fastballs right in on the hands of Mark Reynolds. And this is a point for Robert Stevenson right now, Tom, where you forget about that runner at third base. You are concentrating on outs. Just get outs and stay away from the big inning.
Well, here's Russin. Fastball low, ball 1. One ball and 1 strike on Russin. Almost hit him with that pitch. That was a fastball. It's hard to believe it missed him.
That one got away from him a little bit. Tried to hump up and get a little bit extra. That almost caught the jersey. You got the pitcher at the plate. Forget about him making incremental contact. Just go after him like that.
2-2. Pitch on Russin, runner at third, 1 out. And a breaking ball, and Russin able to make contact.
Too many times you get 1 out and a runner at third base, and you're trying to strike out the pitcher from the first pitch on. Can't strike him out till you get 2 strikes on him.
Making him work a little bit is Russin.
With a curveball and a changeup there, and Russin able to foul it back.
Seventh pitch in this at bat to Russin. Popped up in the infield. The runner will stay put at third, and there are 2 outs in the inning. As always, we remind you, coming up later on, we look forward to our Miller Time moment, brought to you by Miller Lite. All right, LeMahieu left to go here. Stevenson, an out away from 5 innings. That's how far he went in his major league debut. It turned out to be a winning major league debut. but he appears to be far from finished tonight. Only 73 pitches in the game. LeMahieu has popped to first and grounded out to Brandon. First pitch. Breaking ball is off the inside corner. 1-0 on LeMahieu. Went to his first All-Star game right here in Cincinnati a year ago. Good player. Jam shot, fly ball, inning over. 5 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball. And all that after a leadoff double. Good work by Stevenson. Weekend with a bang. Fireworks Fridays every Friday at the ballpark this season. This Friday, Reds and the Cubs for as low as $12. The fireworks spectacular immediately following, thanks to Thomas More College. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit Reds.com. Last of the fifth, Suarez, Votto, Phillips. Robert Stevenson working on a 3-hitter tonight. He has only allowed 1 base runner since a 2-out walk when Colorado scored its only run in the 2nd inning. So he's been mighty good. Suarez has struck out and singled to right. He's also stolen a base.
You don't normally see a catcher set up with his glove laying on the ground, but that's exactly where Tony Wolters wanted that breaking ball.
Fooled him there. Looked like a changeup down and away. And coming in to get it, the right fielder Gonzalez for the first out. And his former Kentucky Wildcat, as you pointed out, Cowboy, appears to be pretty comfortable coming out of that bullpen.
Well, the way that he throws the ball, especially the way that he wraps it up behind the back of his head, it really allows him to get on top of his breaking ball well. And his breaking ball is sharp, late, and quick. But it also fatigues the forearm the longer that you pitch. And that may have been the major effect for him as a starter. His future may be out of the bullpen. He looks good tonight.
And Lord knows you can pitch for a long, long time if you can come out of that bullpen as a left-hander, throw strikes. If you're durable, and especially if you can retire left-handed batters.
Watch him take it out of the glove. Ball goes down. See him wrap that wrist around. Really tight up around the forearm. And that's not something that you change. It's just how he grew up throwing the baseball.
That's a wicked breaking ball right there. Joey Votto is 0 for 2. Has struck out swinging each of his first 2 times up. Both of those at bats against the left-hander De La Rosa.
A little quick pitch there from Russell.
Hard hit ball, but that's the shortstop with the shift on Votto. And they're 2 away here in the Reds' 5th.
Like Votto got it right on the barrel, but with that shift with 3 infielders on the right field side, not a whole lot of room to shoot it through there.
Looked like Story may have tweaked a little something on that ball. He's still kind of wincing as he's walking back and reaching down into that right groin area.
Well, that's what took LeMahieu out of the lineup yesterday. And I know LeMahieu is still fighting it a little bit. A lot of times you catch that spike, it rips right up into the inside of the groin, and those are not injuries that you want to push too much. So you got to make sure you take care of it if that's the case.
I think it's safe to say there's clearly something bothering Story. You could tell as soon as he got up after making that play and throwing on to first base.
He's still trying to walk it off. A lot of times your spike or your knee hits funny and it pops those hips.
Why it really is truly amazing when you think back to the kind of consecutive game streak that Cal Ripken Jr. had, and how just what looks like a nothing play right there, and how many thousands of times through that streak a little something like that happened to Ripken, but never serious enough to keep him out of the lineup.
And it's not like he never left his feet. He dove for balls left and right.
And it's not just a consecutive games played streak. It's guys that, you know, you'll look back on their career, and certainly Pete Rose was one of these guys, and there have been a lot of players even today where you'll look up at guys that play 9, 10, 12, 14 years and playing 150 games or more every year. Quick pitch there, and Phillips with another base hit, another extra base hit. Outfielder falls down, and Phillips on his way to third. So that'll be a straight 3-base hit. Gonzalez lost his footing when he hit the warning track. So single, double, now triple for Brandon Phillips.
Quick pitch, good idea. Just left it in the middle of the plate, and Brandon was ready for it. That ball came off the wall. It was misplayed a little bit with the angle of Gonzalez going into the corner. I think it fooled him, and it got banged.
Now Mesoraco with a runner at third and 2 outs here in the 5th. Reds with a 4-1 lead. Devin is single to center and drawn a walk.
And I'm going to go back to that 3rd inning time where the Reds had a leadoff double to start the 3rd. Now granted, they're winning a 4-1 ball game. We've talked about it and we'll talk about it again. You cannot sleep on the Rockies because of their offense. They can score runs in bunches. Take advantage of every opportunity you have.
And look, the Reds are still looking for answers in that bullpen. So you couple those together and you make it
just try to make every
valid point.
Make every opportunity count.
2-1 pitch. Arenado, that's a fair ball. His throw, what a play on both ends. Boy, it's a big time play by Arenado, and maybe an even better play by Reynolds. Stretching, full on stretch into foul ground, and he might be hurt. That is some kind of play by Reynolds. A former 3rd baseman himself. That's big league play.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Coming your way tomorrow, it's an all-new Reds Weekly. Back from a devastating knee injury. Hear why Zach Cozart is hitting on all cylinders. Doug Flynn goes one-on-one with longtime Reds great former pitching coach and former teammate Don Gullett. Jeff Pecoro and Doug Flynn, a couple of UK guys, Wednesday on 6 p.m. on Reds Weekly. 75 pitches in the game for young Mr. Robert Stevenson in this his 2nd major league start. And he has been so impressive here tonight. He's allowed 1 run, 3 hits, 2 strikeouts, only 1 walk. And has allowed a total of 4 base runners. 3 of them came consecutively when the Rockies scored their only run all the way back in the 2nd inning. And here we are in the 6th. Right through the heart of the order here in the 6th inning. Story, Gonzalez, and Arenado.
Now the impressive part for me, Tom, for Stevenson is how aggressive he's been against the Rocky batters. I mean, he has not backed off at all. I mean, he shifted into another gear, and you got to love that if you're the Reds general manager and the manager Brian Price. This is the kind of Robert Stevenson that we envisioned when he got to the big leagues.
2-strike pitch, bounces it up there. A couple of guys part of the same draft class in 2011. Story, the 45th pick. That was a supplemental post first round. Look at some of the notables. Garrett Cole, #1 that year. Lindor of Cleveland, Baez of Chicago, Jose Fernandez of Miami in that draft. Pretty good power arms in that draft class, the early part of it anyway. Two on Story. Fooled by a breaking ball. 1 out.
And that pitch there just goes back to inducing weak contact. You get ahead in the count. You've got 1 pitch, maybe 2 to get the strikeout. When you don't get it, you go back to making a pitch that will induce weak contact. And you could see Story lunging for the ball. Hips were already open, hands flying out. Ground ball to third.
Gonzalez has hit the ball very hard twice. Nothing to show for it. A liner to left and a missile right at Brandon Phillips his last time up. I don't know if there's anybody in the National League over the course of an entire year when he is healthy. And it's what they used to say about Willie McCovey back when he played. That consistently hits the ball harder than Gonzalez. Not so much this time on the fly ball to left, 2 away. The Reds are one of 2 teams in baseball that have not had a starter pitch 7 innings in a game this year, the Marlins being the other. Stevenson is only sitting on 82 pitches right now. And the way he's throwing the ball tonight,
he's not coming out.
No. Of course, I never thought at a 100 pitch mark I'd ever see a pitcher taken out of the game in the 8th inning with a no-hitter. But that's happened already this year.
The thing that I think Robert Stevenson is realizing right now is I can beat some of these best hitters on the inside part of the plate, and he's done that throughout the night.
Way out in front.
A lot of his pitch selection against the Phillies in his first start, away, 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 away. When you're a power arm and your name is Robert Stevenson, you come in, and you come in with a vengeance.
Ahead 0-2. Fastball at 95 miles per hour. That time they set up away and wound up coming in. Stevenson trying to get through this 6th. It would be his 4th perfect inning of the night. One and 2 on Nolan Arenado. Stevenson rocks and delivers. Straight up in the air. It'll be a perfect 6th inning through the teeth of this Colorado batting order. What an effort so far tonight from Stevenson. And you certainly hope it's not over for him the way he's throwing the ball right now. Reds bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning, leading Colorado 4-1. Robert Stevenson, 6 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball. He is due up 4th here in the Reds' 6th inning, and already the batting helmet on. He doesn't even want to give his manager a chance to debate taking him out of this game. Not the way he's going. Bruce, a fly ball to left, a long run, and getting there. That's a good play out there by Paulson. It's a guy that was playing first base last night. He ran like a first baseman after that ball.
But he got it.
That's right.
It's all about results up here, baby. I don't care if you hit it with the knob of the bat as long as it falls in for a hit.
Tyler Holt has been hit by a pitch, stolen a base, scored a run, and then bounced into a double play, ending the 3rd. Russin has really quieted this Reds lineup down since he came on. The Reds had 6 hits, a walk, and a hit batter. 8 base runners in 2+ innings, scored 4 runs against De La Rosa. Well, ever since Russin has come into the game, the Reds have 1 base runner. It's a 2-out triple in the 5th by Brandon Phillips.
And this is what you want when you're down and you've got a guy coming out of your bullpen. You want him to keep the opponent at bay. And Russin has done exactly that so far.
Just joining us, we were talking about Russin, originally a Chicago Cub, but a young man who pitched collegiately and graduated in 2009 from the University of Kentucky down in Lexington. The Big Blue. That one shot into right field. Nice piece of hitting by Holt. Our steel power tool performers, the Reds running game tonight, stole 5 bases. And that is the most by any team in 1 inning since Texas in 2010.
Jay Bruce stole 2nd and 3rd standing up.
All off De La Rosa. This should be a double play to win the inning, and oh, it's thrown away into the dugout, so Stevenson will be awarded second base. That's a routine play right there for Story, and he just airmailed it.
Well, Russin did exactly what he should have done. He got to the ball quickly, made a strike throw. Footwork for Story there, not exactly how you teach it.
Billy Hamilton, 1 of 2. A 2-run double in that 4-run Reds 2nd inning. Stole a base, scored a run. Hit the ball very hard right at LeMahieu his last time up.
So if you said on your mark, get set, go, do you think Hamilton could catch Stevenson from where he is right now before they got to home plate? I can't help but always think about that when Hamilton's at the plate.
I would say no.
We were about to find out.
Thought we were going to find out. Tell you, Billy's hit the ball hard tonight.
Yes, he has.
It's been his best game so far this year. Action 30 minutes before the start of every game. Everything you need to know that's going on with Reds baseball. It's called Reds Live. It's presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Now tomorrow, no television, radio only tomorrow. But April in the OHIO continues Thursday, and we'll have all 4 games of that Cubs series coming your way. Night games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, day games Sunday. Reds Live Thursday night, 6:30, April in the OHIO. Presented by Meyer. The headline so far tonight, the pitching of 23-year-old Californian Robert Stevenson as he climbs the hill with a chance to become the first Reds starting pitcher this year to pitch 7 innings in a game.
Well, this is the type of outing that if you're a Reds fan, you've been waiting on. He's been very aggressive. He's pitched confidently. You just like the aggressiveness, that youthful nature of getting out on the mound and taking it to the opponent. He has not backed off one pitch tonight. Every Rockies batter that's coming to the plate right now is looking for a fastball that they can jump on. Back-to-back changeups there to Parra, and now he's got him in an 0-2 hole.
Stevenson is fan 2, walked only 1. Try to get him to chase that fastball up in the zone, and too far up in the zone. Parra has popped to short, bounced out to Phillips. The only part of the batting order that has given Stevenson any trouble tonight starts next. Breaking ball in the dirt. Reynolds has a hit and has scored a run. 2 up 3rd in the inning. The left-handed batting Paulson. A single, a double, and an RBI.
And Paulson has been swinging really early in the count, first or second pitch.
'92nd pitch of the night for Stevenson. Right back to it. 1 out. The last Reds starting pitcher to get credit for a win in his first 2 starts of his major league career. You've got to go back to Larry Lubers in 1993. Before that, Tom Carroll in 1974. I know many of you remember him.
Tell you what, Robert Stevenson has lost nothing. We're in the 7th inning. He's approaching the 100 pitch mark. That last fastball at 96 miles an hour.
And what a wicked breaking ball right there. I mean, the bottom fell out of that.
Even though it backed up, it still had significant depth to it at the end.
It's not where he wanted it, but sometimes those backup breaking balls, a lot of times they're ugly, but sometimes you get a break.
Especially when you throw as hard as Stevenson does.
Done a lot more of this in his second start. Taking just an extra couple of seconds.
This is what I buy a ticket for. That young kid out there on the man.
And I mean, he's been on a nice rhythm with Devin Mesoraco there behind the plate. He puts that finger down and it's yes sir, here we go. 2-2 on Reynolds. Try the breaking ball again. He's missed with the last 2 low. All right, what are you doing here at 3-2?
Go get him. It's a 4-1 game.
Let me hear it.
Throw him the heater, Ricky.
That's what we've been waiting for. Threw him a heater but missed. Now Brian Price normally, doesn't do a lot of pacing around in the dugout. The Reds have action in their bullpen. And both guys are ready. Cotham, the right-hander, and Cingrani, the left-hander.
You got to know that Paulson's going to want to swing early. I've seen a lot of first pitch changeups here lately to the left-handed batters. Exactly what that was there.
And now Mesoraco out for a visit.
Now in this instance, Stevenson is feeling it. He wants it bad. Sometimes you have to back out of that a little bit. You can't want it too much. You back out a little bit, regather your thoughts, get your mechanics in order, and just make a pitch. And after that, make another pitch.
1-0 on Paulson. A lot off speed here in these last two at bats. Curveballs and changeups. Paulson a run scoring single on a base hit to right in the second inning, and then doubled down the right field line leading off the fifth. That is the only Colorado hit since Paulson had the run scoring single with 2 outs in the second inning. But it's still only a 3-run game. '101st pitch of the night for Stevenson, fouled off to get a strike on Paulson. Boy, you'd love to see a sharp ground ball right now at Brandon Phillips. Two balls and a strike. 2-2.
Outstanding pitch right there. I don't think there was any way that Paulson thought he was going to come back with back-to-back heaters. Right on the outside corner, and you could see that emergency swing, very tardy by Paulson. Now you can go changeup or curveball.
Came with another fastball. Stevenson, 5 innings in his major league debut. Was the beneficiary of a huge offensive explosion that day for the Reds. They scored 8 runs in the 4th inning that day against the Phillies. 2-2. Stevenson works in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Came back with a breaking ball after 3 straight fastballs, and that's 3 strikeouts for Stevenson. An out away of 7 innings in the game.
Well, that is a nasty one there. Starts right at the mask of Mesoraco, and look where that bad boy ends up. It's all about making pitches in crunch time. Don't let the moment consume you.
Now the catcher, Tony Walters, runner at first, 2 outs. Robert Stevenson, 7 innings in this, his second major league start. He allows 3 hits, 1 run, 105 pitches. And they will stand and cheer behind that Reds dugout. He earned it.
And rightfully so.
Park, your family day destination this Sunday. Take advantage and save with a family Sunday ticket offer. We have live mascot races, face painters, games, so much more going on. All thanks to College Advantage. All kids 14 and younger get a Reds super themed fathead this Sunday. Come on down to the ballpark. 1:10 start time. High fives all over for Robert Stevenson.
Tell you, Robert was game on tonight from the first pitch.
It's the longest outing by a Reds starter. First starter to go 7 innings. And why not smile, young man? You deserve it.
Just watching him pitch and his adrenaline and actions on the mound, that pumps me up.
Sure. Justin Miller follows Russin, who gave him 4 shutout innings out of the bullpen behind De La Rosa. And this is still a ball game now. I mean, we got a lot of things to be excited about. Reds have a lead. Here we are in the bottom of the 7th. Stevenson, a terrific game, but it's still just a 3-run spread.
Justin Miller, right-hander, 38 strikeouts in 33 innings last year, only gave up 21 hits. And a lot of his runners that were left on base ultimately ended up scoring. We'll see a little bit of a rough start to begin this 2016 season. Chris Russin did a phenomenal job.
Sure did.
Out of the Rockies bullpen. I don't think you could ask for anything better.
Miller grew up in Bakersfield, California. Boy, you talk about a great memory. He pitched for the Fresno State Bulldogs when they won the College World Series in 2008. Pretty exciting.
No doubt about it. It's one thing to get there. There's a whole lot more to win.
Well, you were there.
We didn't win. We had 4 big league all-stars and still didn't win. That's a tough tourney right there.
Sure is. I tell you what, it will never happen, and I'm not suggesting it ever should happen, but I'll tell you what, if baseball ever wanted to re-examine the way they run their postseason, you want to talk about off-the-charts excitement. If you ran it in the same format like they run the College Baseball World Series, obviously will never happen.
Right.
But man, oh man, would that be something else? Straightaway center field. Parra drifting to his left for the first out of the inning. How many teams they bring to Omaha? 8?
8.
You got to win your region and sub-region, that kind of thing, right?
You got to win the initial tournament, regional, which is usually a 4-team regional.
Right, and you get a home field advantage in that if you're a top seed.
Right, and then you have a 2-team super regional that you have to win. And then you're seeded off of those super regionals as you get to Omaha.
Mm-hmm. And in those super regionals, it's 2 out of 3, right?
That is correct.
Yes. And then when you get to Omaha, it's double elimination.
But they have it in 2 different sides, like a east-west, north-south. You win your side, you go to the championship game. And back when I was playing there, you went into the losers bracket if you lost early, and you had to climb all the way back through. You better have a whole lot of pitching, and most teams, most college teams don't have that much pitching. That's why offense back in that day was so important.
Hard hit ball right on the nose by Suarez, but allowed out right into shortstop. 2 away, and here comes Votto, who's 0 for 3. He struck out swinging twice, and then grounded out to Story as they'll put on the shift again, and that's where Votto hit it. And really, had they not even put on the shift, it still would have been basically a sharp one-hopper right at where the regular second baseman would be.
Yeah, I like the way Suarez swung the bat tonight after that first at bat. He's hit the ball on the nose.
Full slate of games all over baseball tonight. There still have not been that many days in this season because of weather where everybody's playing on a given night here through the first 2 weeks of this summer. That went in the air to left, and that'll be the final out of the inning. So Miller a perfect 7th. So here we go. We're assuming Stevenson's out of this game. So that means the Reds bullpen with 6 outs to get. The game summary. The Reds stole 5 bases. They scored 4 runs on 5 hits in the second inning off De La Rosa. Billy Hamilton, a big 2-out, 2-run double. Cozart would extend his hitting streak with a run-scoring single. And Robert Stevenson in his second major league start, so very impressive.
Can't help but absolutely love what you've seen tonight from Robert Stevenson. A lot of strikes, very aggressive in the strike zone, taking the fight to the opponent. And there are a lot of young pitchers that would come to the big leagues and face a team like the Rockies with that type of offense. They would nibble here or nibble there. There was no nibble in Stevenson's game here tonight. He wanted to make his presence known, and he did that, folks.
Christian Adames, who got the start last night, will pinch hit for Miller. And Caleb Cotham comes on from the Cincinnati bullpen. Cotham's had a nice run at it so far. I mean, you can't say that obviously about a lot of guys in the bullpen, but Cotham, there you see, already his 8th game of the year, is not allowed an earned run. Now, you pointed out last night there have been a couple of spots they brought him into key situations, and maybe an at-bat got away from him, walked a guy, then they have to bring in somebody else behind him. But the bottom line is he's getting people out.
Well, the thing that I like about Cotham that I've seen thus far, he's not afraid to throw the ball over the plate. He can throw fastball on both sides of the plate and breaking ball on both sides of the plate. You only need 2 pitches down there in that bullpen.
And that's good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Adames. So a good start for Caleb. 1 out in the 8th.
When you're pitching out of the bullpen and you're trying to throw 5 or 6 pitches, look at this slider here. As you get ahead and then you come hard breaking slider in. But when you're trying to throw 3 or 4 different pitches out of the bullpen, there's no way to keep them all sharp. Keep 2 pitches sharp and make it work. Problem is you don't trust those first 2 pitches, so you want to have a knuckle curve and a split finger and a changeup and a 2-seamer and a cutter.
And oftentimes, unfortunately, it comes right down to location of one of those first 2 pitches, especially the fastball. Ground ball to Cozart. Cotham has come on, 5 pitches and 2 outs.
I just don't believe in Caleb Cotham. Is very young to the big leagues, but looking at him now, we don't know what's going on inside of his body, obviously, but he does not look intimidated by the moment. He doesn't look like he's trying to do too much. I think he trusts his stuff, obviously, looking at the pitches that he's making, very aggressive. This is what you want out of the young guys.
Now Story 0 for 3. There are only 2 batters in this Colorado lineup tonight that have hits. Only 3 batters have reached base. And I'm talking about 3 players in their lineup. Reynolds has walked and has a hit. Paulson 2 hits. Walters a walk. That's it. All the big guys at the top. All-star LeMahieu, Story, you know about the way he started the year. Gonzalez, Arenado. All the way down to Parra, the first 5 hitters in the lineup are a combined 0 for 16.
Throw this one about a foot off the plate, breaking ball. Tried to. You know, in this day and age, Tom, throwing the ball 95, 96 miles an hour, that's a regular thing out of the bullpen. So you've got to be able to have a secondary pitch that you can throw for a strike and be able to keep the hitter honest so your heater matters.
That ball stung into right center. Billy will run it down. And a 1-2-3 8th inning for Caleb Cotham. Stevenson will congratulate him. 3 outs away from a win. Eighth inning with a 3-run lead. Been a real good night, Cowboy, for Brandon Phillips at the plate.
Got a breaking ball early in the ball game. Hooked it down the left field line, thinking 2 there. Well, he gets 2 on this one. All the way down the left field line into the corner, and a 2-strike fastball he hits the other way, and watch Gonzalez go to the turf. And as soon as that happened, Phillips is headed on to third. 1 swing away from the cycle if he can go long ball here.
Colorado brings on its 4th pitcher of the night. David Hale, the right-hander.
This guy we saw throw so well in the starting rotation in Atlanta a couple of years ago.
Yeah, boy, what a game he had that night. Remember that? And Phillips a 4-hit night. Single, double, triple, single. Well, you want to talk about waiting a long time for a Reds player to have a cycle in a game. You've got to go all the way back to 1989 with Eric Davis against the San Diego Padres. That was June the 2nd at Riverfront Stadium. Eric became the 5th and last player in Reds history to hit for the cycle. He doubled in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd, homered in the 4th, completed the feat with a run-scoring triple to right center field in the 7th inning. There it is right there. 3 bases. Man, could he run.
He could hit a little bit too.
He could do it all.
No doubt about it.
One and 2 on Devin Mesoraco. Now I know a lot of you are sitting at home right now and you're saying, is Hoover getting loose in the bullpen? The answer is no. The Rockies will have a left-handed batter, a right-handed batter, and a left-handed batter coming up in the top of the 9th inning.
It is the meat of their order. Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, Gerardo Parra.
And it's Cingrani who's ready. And there is no doubt that Cingrani will be brought on in the 9th inning to pitch. Liner caught by Parra for the first down, the Reds 8th. Well, thanks to our friends from John Morrell, the first 25,000 fans this Saturday receive a Votto-Matic Super bobblehead, and you can see the Reds and the Cubbies for as low as $12. Call 513-381-REDS or visit Reds.com. Visit select Kroger locations as well. Well, the lefty coming up. There'll be a pitching change. They have 3 to choose from down there, left-handers. And this will be Jason Gurka coming on to face Shea Bruce. We'll be back.
Takeover. You can get Reds tickets for this weekend series against the Cubs, $25. Terrace Line tickets for all 4 games. Reds.com/FS Ohio. Use the promo code FS Ohio and get your tickets. The offer expires at the end of tonight's post-game show. Tom.
All right, Jimbo. So if you want to take advantage of that, you better get on it right now. One on, one out. The left-hander Jason Gurka takes over to face Jay Bruce.
Gurka's had a rough start. Look at those numbers. He's allowed 10 runs in 9 innings and 16 hits.
Gurka, 28 years old. Originally drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in the 15th round in 2008 out of Angelina, Texas Junior College. And he faces another fellow Houstonian, if you will, the suburbs of Houston, Jay Bruce.
Gurka got his first sniff of the big leagues last year, pitched in 9 games with the Rockies.
Popped up shallow center field, and that's a second out of the inning. Colorado bullpen has just been outstanding tonight. I mean, look, give credit where it's due. Russin, Miller, Hale, now Gurka. Remember, Russin took over with 4 runs in and nobody out. To save in the 3rd, De La Rosa. Reds had a double and a walk to start that 3rd inning, and that was it. He got a ground ball, then a ground ball double play. He allowed a triple in the 5th, single in the 6th. The only 2 hits he allowed in 4 innings. Miller works a perfect 7th. Hale and Gurka in the 8th.
The only way that this Rockies club is going to be competitive beyond April, which is always their best month, is their bullpen to perform soundly.
It's the only thing that hasn't gone Phillips' way tonight. Caught stealing 1-3-6. Coming up for Colorado, you've got Gonzalez, Arenado, and Manny Parra, lefty, righty, lefty. And as the bullpen save since his senior year at Rice University. Reds game here on Fox Sports Ohio. Stick around for Reds Live, brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. We'll break it all down. Well, here we go. Tony Cingrani, his first 3 years of college, was a starting pitcher. His senior year at Rice University, he did not have enough command of his off-speed pitches. We've heard that before, to even make the Rice University starting rotation. They moved him into the bullpen, where ultimately he became their closer and had 12 saves his senior year in 2010. He has not saved a single game since leaving college. Not one as a professional. But now he will get a chance on this April the 19th, 2016. Cowboy, this truly is the chance of a lifetime, perhaps career-altering for Tony Cingrani.
Tremendous opportunity. And you've got a 3-run lead here. You just go get them.
He jumps ahead of Gonzalez, 0-2, puts him away on a breaking ball. 3 straight pitches in what is starting the ninth for Cingrani.
This is the pitch that's really helped Cingrani so far this year. That hard, sweeping breaking ball.
And I beg your pardon. We saw Cingrani come out to begin this 9th inning against Gonzalez, and he is being taken out of the game. Down with 2 outs to go. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by Toyota. For over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. J.J. Hoover, his 3rd save opportunity on the year. He's 1 of 2 in his first 2 tries. And he's on with 1 out in the 9th inning. The Reds lead 4-1, strike 1 to Arenado. Hoover got his first save of the year on Saturday, despite the fact that he came in with a 3-run lead and gave up a 2-run home run, but he did get the final out. Now, Cowboy, you know all about the closer's role. You were an all-star. You were Rolaids Relief Man of the Year award winner. And, you know, obviously that can be a fragile line. I mean, let's face it, J.J. Hoover only had 6 career saves if you include the one this year. And he's trying to replace arguably the best closer on the planet in Aroldis Chapman. Are you surprised that they're going back to him with 1 out in the 9th inning tonight?
I am surprised, but I think the reason that Brian did it this way is to try to build the confidence of J.J. Hoover. He's had a rough start.
Yep, looks like he'll get the first out. And does. So it's out number 2 in the inning. And now J.J. an out away from getting his 2nd save of the year.
Because I'll say this, Tom, most of the time, now most guys don't throw the ball like Aroldis Chapman, but most of the time, pitching that 9th inning is much less about outstanding stuff and having a great slider or a great fastball. It's about confidence and your ability that you feel to go out there and do it every day.
But you know what? Joel Luckham, our statistician, points out to me and reminds me this is actually not a save situation now for Hoover. You have to pitch with a 3-run lead. You have to pitch either A, the full inning, or B, you've got to come into the game where the tying run is standing in the on-deck circle.
That is correct.
Or on base or at the plate. And that's not the case here with the bases empty, 1 out.
But even with it not being a save situation, if you're finishing the ball game for J.J. Hoover right now, you get a couple of quick outs, it's a confidence booster. And I think that's where Brian Price is headed in this moment here.
Just for those of you that to understand, as that one is bunted, and that will be a base hit by Parra to keep this inning alive. If Cingrani would have pitched this entire inning,
he would have gotten
it would have been a save. And you cannot pitch yourself into a save situation.
No.
As a final thought.
I tried that many a time.
And some people are out there saying, well, no kidding, I'm well aware of that. There are a lot of people that don't know.
Right.
So
the save rules can get a little confusing for folks.
well, trying to nail it down is Hoover for Robert Stevenson. And he's down there cheering on Hoover, standing up in that Reds dugout. Chance to win each of his first 2 major league starts. The best Colorado hitter tonight is a guy on deck. 3-1 on Mark Reynolds. Reynolds had a pretty good night as well. He has a double, scored the only Colorado run in the 2nd inning, has struck out, drawn a walk. But Paulson, a single, a double, an RBI, and has also struck out. 3-2 now on Reynolds. Robert Stevenson, the first Red starter this year to give his team 7 innings on the hill. Reynolds helping J.J. right there. That was ball 4. The Reds, one of only 2 teams in the major leagues leading into tonight where a starter had not given him 7 innings in a game. The Marlins being the other. Stevenson did it tonight. And this ball is in the air straight away center field. And it is gone, and it's a 1-run game at 4-3.
got behind in the count, and you're throwing a lot of fastballs to a guy that he can hit a fastball, and he definitely hit that one.
Now Paulson, strike one. Pumping a fastball in there to get ahead of Paulson at 0-2. JJ shaking off Mesoraco not once but twice there. A 4-3 game, 2 outs in the ninth. In the air, right field, game over. Robert Stevenson will celebrate, and rightfully so. He goes to 2-0 on the year. And the Reds win it by a final count of 4-3. And our Miller Time Moments, Cowboy, presented by Miller Lite and delivered by Robert Stevenson.
Robert Stevenson showed up tonight. He was awfully aggressive, pitched with great confidence. We saw the curveball that we have talked about so many times, and it was a great pitch for him. But he also had the changeup working, and when he did have a little bit of inconsistency in the strike zone, he was able to come back and right the ship quickly. Outstanding job.
Got to go back to 1993. The last Reds starting pitcher to win each of his first 2 major league starts when Larry Lugers did it. We mentioned earlier you got to go all the way back to Tom Hall in Tom Carroll all the way back in 1974 prior to Lubers in 93. More still to come, celebrating a Reds win and back to 500 after the victory tonight.